Howdy y'all, my name is Brunt Hefferton, Mist Trainer, Totem with the Mist Trainer tribe, and today I want to talk to y'all about Anetheron. Anetheron? Something like that. Anetheron is the second boss in Hydro Summit, and he is a demon, which means you can put on your elixir of demon slaying if you want some extra threat. Whenever you get him, pull him back so that the NPCs can help out with the fight. We usually try to bring him over to the horse guys. See, forlorn around for victory. So you're going back in time, and you're helping out the Alliance defend against the Burning Legion around Hydro Summit. Now, you may notice something about the start of this pull here. I've got 2 weapons on right now, which seems a little bit crazy, doesn't it? But the plus side of this is I get to raise the threat ceiling so people can go all out. They can just deal tons of damage because Anetheron, he's a demon, but he's kind of a wimp. He doesn't hit super hard. His main mechanic is he puts a debuff on people that reduces the healing done by 75%. And you might be like, oh shit, Brunt, you better put a shield on. You got the debuff. No, it's healing done, not healing received. This is not Mortal Strike. This is something that makes the healers weaker, which means if this were to hit my healers that were over here, then I need to go defensive. But if it hits me, I don't care. That's fine. And whenever I start off a fight like this, and I want to raise a big threat ceiling, I'm going to walk y'all through basically how I do this. So I've got scrolls up here. I've got armor elixir, I've got my food buff, I go for 20 agi. I like the crit, I like the armor, I like the dodge. I got my iron shield up, being responsible here. I'm getting the boss in position with the shield on. He's doing his carry and swarm ability to people. And then I got pain suppression from a disciplined priest, bloodlust. I'm dual wielding, and now I'm just slap-a-dapper. I got thunderclap up on him, so his attack speed is slower, and I'm just hitting him like a bus. The threat here is crazy, so people can just go 100%. They don't need a throttle at all. A lot of people are saying that bears are what you need for threat. Warrior can really pump too if you know how to do it. But you've got to offset your greed with some responsibility choices here. So I've been greedy. I've got my dual wielding on. Brunt, you don't got a shield. Aren't you going to die? No, I'm not. Because my gear has enough resilience plus defense to make me crit immune, which means I'm not going to get crit from this guy, but maybe crushed a little bit. I've also got my iron shield up. I've got my Demo Shout Thunderclap up. That's discipline. Using your debuffs, even if you're trying to pump. You should not sacrifice these debuffs just for a little bit more pump. In addition, I use Last Stand, Pain Suppression from a priest, and also Nightmare Seed for all of this. So that whole time, I'm staying alive. I'm being really greedy with the dual wielding, but I'm investing in the defensive protocols to stay alive. So we got that huge threat ceiling, and I'm just tanking him here. NPCs are DPSing it down. Bloodlust is over. We got a Boom Last Stand now. Boom Last Stand after the Nightmare Seed. 21k health. That's not even a problem. He's hitting me for about 4.6k. You can see it up here. Good damage, good damage. Iron Shield is up. Battle Shout is up. Now, here's something to just check yourself before you wreck yourself and your raid. Maybe you don't have tier 6 gear. Maybe you don't have season 3 arena helmet and all the fancy stuff that I have. Then you need to adjust and communicate with your raid about what the threat output is going to be like. Maybe this is your first Hydro ever and you're a new tank here and they say, hey Mr. Tank or Mrs. Tank, can you tank Anetheron? And you're like, well, I can try. It's okay to play it safe. So here I'm showing you the upper limit of how aggressive you can be, but there's no shame in wearing a shield if you prefer to play it more cautious than I do. Because not everybody's a Tauren with opponents 5% health. Not everybody has communication with strong healers who can give you that pain suppression and that kind of a thing. So don't be dumb with your tanking. Know the raid that you're in. Additionally, maybe you're in a pug run or a GDKP and the healer situation isn't as strong as your main guild raid. So you need to adjust your gear. You need to adjust your consumes you're using maybe. You can even adjust your shout. If I had a weaker raid that I was in, No shade at them, not everyone's equally geared or skilled. I will do commanding shout, just to make sure I have even more room for people to stay alive, and I might not use the offhand to do damage at all. I may just wear a shield the whole time. Nevertheless, Anetheron, compared to the other bosses in this phase, doesn't hit super duper hard. The main issue that you run into is this. This Infernal falling down does a bunch of damage, and it's fire damage, so oftentimes you'll have a paladin tank or a bear tank pick these up and maybe wear a bit of fire res to stay alive. And sometimes you can take a spike of damage from these plus the boss at the same time. So watch out for that one. Those are really the main two abilities you have to worry about. Is sometimes he can carry and swarm at your healers, which weakens them, and sometimes he can drop the Infernal on you, and maybe you get threat from both of those. He drops a Pillar of Ferocity, which is pretty good. Our Pharaoh was excited to get this. He also dropped the Unbreakable Will there, which is a mitigation sword. It's not the most exciting item. I actually have it in my bank here. Let me show you. Show you this. Let's just go to get this. Unbreakable Will. Actually, I can just look in Atlas Loot. That's a good tool. Burning Crusade. This add-on is called Atlas Loot. Anetheron. He drops the Unbreakable Will. This is just loaded up with mitigation. So if you don't have Mallet of the Tides, if you don't have the Brutalizer, this would be an upgrade over King's Defender and that kind of tier of items. It's got 21 defense, 303 armor, and 33 stam, and a nice fast speed, which means you get a bunch of heroic strikes in. Plus, it looks mean as hell. Pretty cool sword. If you don't have a good tanking sword, or if you want to just pick this up as an off-spec, Unbreakable Will is pretty decent. I have it. I don't really use it because I have Brutalizer, but yeah, it's a good weapon. There's a Bastion of Light as well. Good for healing paladins. This is good for pharaohs. This is honestly a pretty bad sword. A lot of rogues don't want this. Hunters could use it for stats. What else has he got here? Plate shoulder, another healing item. Hit rating agility item. Really not too much for tanks. But in any case, Anetheron is a boss that you will have to face. Relative to a lot of the bosses in here, I would say these two don't hit very hard. These two, actually these three, hit pretty hard. Asgalor and Archimonde especially hit super hard, and I'm going to show y'all in the next video tanking these other bosses. For me, Brunt half a ton Mistrunner Tolmore that Mistrunner job. Ancestors watch over you. Play smart, play safe, and have a good time in your raids. Best of luck on y'all's bis, and I'll see you on the next.